Hey, 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 what's going on out there, NACA land, Facebook land, radio land? Welcome back to another episode of NACA American Dream Program. And we are awesome. I tell you, NACA is relentless. It is relentless. I cannot continue to tell you how relentless it is because each day I get up out my bed living in a house that I had a 480 credit score, but yet I have a 2.23 30-year fixed interest rate. I can't say how relentless NACA is. So when I tell you NACA's relentless, I'm speaking from experience, as they say, not experience, but experience. So we're out here trying to get everybody on board. Do not hesitate. Don't play around. Go get your house from NACA. They have one for everybody. There's no reason that you can't go through this program. And we're here with my lady out in Texas, Anjanette Dowles Thibodeau. What's going on out there in Texas, dear?
Hey, Damien, and everyone out there in NACA. It is a beautiful day here in Houston, Texas.
Oh.
Sunny, bright, shining, all beautiful. The wind is blowing. It's a nice breeze, but it's still hot. You know what I'm saying? It is still hot. I'm talking humid hot, but you know what? The day is beautiful. And I've already commanded the day for nothing but goodness and mercy, nothing but peace and prosperity and all across the Texas land. So we're doing good in our neighborhood over here. We had a beautiful weekend, a very, very impactful weekend. We were doing back to school supplies over the weekend, Damien, and it was an event sponsored and brought to you by none other than Economic Justice for All and powered by NACA. So we had a good weekend doing what we do, and that's serving the community, greater service and greater progress out in Spring, Texas. So yes, we was out there. Shout out to Spring, Texas. We did a good thing. We gave out I'd say about 200 backpacks with school supplies inside of them, and it just reminded me, when I see the Crayola colors and the markers and the rulers, it's that time of year. We got to get ready to get back to school. However, these backpacks had particular items in them. We included we included masks, and it's just a sign of the times of what our environment has turned to. So we wanted to make sure that all the kids had masks, whether they decide to use them, whether their parents want them to use them or not. They had them in their backpacks for their use. So it felt good doing something good. And again, as always, when people come up and talk to us about the school supplies, they were also talking to us about NACA, which is America's best mortgage. And it was one of those things where they were saying it's too good to be true. You mean to tell me if I can afford to pay my rent, I can get in a payment in the same amount of a payment in a mortgage? And I say, yes, if you can afford to pay your rent, why can't you pay that same amount in a mortgage? So come to us, go to one of our workshops and find out from a NACA counselor how they can get you qualified by using your affordable rent rate and getting you an affordable mortgage rate. It is home ownership at its best. And everybody again walked away saying, this sounds too good to be true. But guess what? They're signing up for the workshops this weekend and the following. So we got a lot of workshops out there. So they started pulling out their phones and signing up, and you can do it too. Just go to www.naca.com and sign up for one of our workshops, or to find out more information about our programs and products that we have available, just go to www.naca.com. And for this show today, any questions you have, you can always hit us up at 833-551, 833-771-0500. That's 833-771-0500. Damien, what do we got going on today?
Listen, I do have a question to ask you about the back to school. Is this something that you may be doing ongoing? So if people want to contribute, they're not able to get out, or they're at home, or they're in a different place, is there a possibility of you keeping it going? And how can they reach out and send, if they want to send money or send packages to you for that?
Absolutely. Now, let me tell you what we got. There's so many different ways that you guys can give back or give to kids that are in need, because with NACA, we adopted a couple of schools here in Texas. We adopted a few schools in the underserved communities, just to make sure that kids have everything they need, not just school supplies, but also toiletries. Kids need toothbrush, toothpaste, things like that. And we wanted to serve those kids that are in dire need of assistance. And we wanted to be able to do that. And we were able to do that sometimes to some extent. Did we get the whole school? We are not there yet, but we're pushing towards it. And yes, if this is something that we do throughout the year, our Houston office and our Texas offices, we do this across the board all year round. We are steadily collecting all year round. And you can always donate supplies. We have 2 drop locations. We have a drop location at our Houston office, which is 14425 Torrey Chase Boulevard. And that's Suite 150, Houston, Texas 77014. And they also have another drop box, and we use Greenhouse International Church as a drop location. And you can just drop off your school supplies or backpacks or whatever you have to give. It can be toothpaste, toothbrushes, whatever that's in your heart to give. And we have that drop location is 200 West Greens Road. And that's located in Houston, Texas 77067. Also, you can find our Houston office location on our website. Again, always go to www.naca.com to find out all of our office locations. And just in case we're not available, you can't get the supplies to our Houston branch or Texas branch, you can do it at a local office near you. We're in 47 offices across the country. So go to our website and look us up under locations, and you can find the office that's closest to you. But in the event you can't, you can always direct mail or Amazon. A lot of people sent supplies through Amazon and just Amazon them to the office and got the supplies to us. And under Economic Justice for All, there's always a donate button. So you can hit that donate button and do what you like to do. How about that?
Awesome. Because what we want to make sure that they understand, the kids are our future. And if we can minimize and lessen any of the burdens they have, they just need to go to school to learn. They don't need to worry about book packs and supplies and all those things. We want them to go and be free to learn all that they can learn so they can take care of us when we get old. So therefore, we need to take care of them while they're growing up. So thank you all for those who participated, who gave, those who are willing to give, and those who will give in the future. We have an awesome, awesome, awesome show planned for you today. Awesome testimony coming from Missouri. Many times we don't have a lot of people out there. Listen, Missouri, here's a witness, a testimony of somebody coming from Missouri that is getting a house. We have Gabriel Burns from Missouri. So don't you say that nobody from Missouri is getting a house, because we got some folk getting houses. So now you get on in line and get your house too. Gabriel, we thank you so much for coming to share your. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. No, thank you so much for having me. And you guys really blew my mind when you told me how low, home ownership through NACA is in Missouri. With the program that I went through, I don't understand it. So whatever I can do to convince the people in my community, this is for real. I'm sitting in my home right now. That would not have been possible without NACA. So I don't know what you all are doing, but stop. Just do it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Love it.
And he looks all comfortable in his house.
Oh, I am. I'm sitting in my office I got right now. It's beautiful.
Yes. Tell me about your office.
Yeah. So, the home that we bought, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm living in a city in a neighborhood called Northampton. So it's just a little bit outside of actual downtown. I've got a beautiful home, 2 bedrooms, plenty of room for entertaining with a fenced in backyard for our dogs and my cat, who figured out how to use my dog door back there, which was a fun surprise. Oh, you might see her popping in and out, and it's quite the sight to see. But yes, we have plenty of room for entertaining all of our friends, which all live in the same community with us, which is just, wonderful to be so close to everybody. And then down here, me and my wife, we're big nerds, we're big gamers. So I've got my room down here for some of my hobby stuff back there, my computer setup, and a wonderful den room for us to watch movies, play games, whatever. It just has all of the space that we need, that we were able to find through NACA. Working completely in-house, we found this house pretty quick, and once we saw it, we knew this was definitely it.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Hey, Gabe,
Yeah.
let me ask you a question. You said you found this house through NAC. Did you have an in-house realtor working with you to help you
Yeah.
along the way?
I'll go ahead and do a quick call out. We had Ken Chance from the St. Louis office.
Yeah.
He was our in-house agent that was recommended to us. We had the option of going through, an out of NACA real estate agent. But whenever we were looking at it and we were talking with our counselor, we just realized it didn't make sense. We needed someone who knew the process.
Yes.
And my counselor just gave me Ken's number once he told us, like, hey, you guys are approved. We're going to get the final paperwork on this day. And I told him, I was like, yeah, we might start looking for real estate agents. He just said, give Ken a call. Just give him a call. You might not go with him. Give him a call and talk to him. Why not? Figured why not?
And the deal for you was the fact that he knew the process. What made you
Absolutely.
choose him out of the other agents?
So, I called Ken up literally right after my counselor told me to. And when I talked to him, he just made me feel comfortable, which I don't think that there's anything better you could say about someone in this process. You are making a large life-changing decision. And so if you can have someone who's going to be beside you, who can make you feel comfortable, who you feel like you can trust. Like, I talked to him that first time and I was like, this guy's got my back. And that is, it was immediate. I knew that I was going with him, and I made the right call because he got us in here. We saw this house 3 days after we were approved, and we had our offer.
Wow.
Oh,
We did.
wow.
Oh, we went through this process. So
Y'all weren't playing at
oh
all.
no.
We are picking men's brains today because we're asking men questions that we want to know. Honest answers. Don't get mad at the messengers.
You're changing your looks all the time because you have to keep changing to keep his attention and to keep him from doing it. Then guess what? It's not you, it's the guy.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
When will someone know that they need a coach?
If you're looking at your life and you're taking an evaluation of yourself and you're not happy with where you are and you can't seem to come up with what you need to do to become happy, then, a life coach may be that individual that you need. Now, if you're just having a rut, just, a week at a time, and you can kind of talk yourself out of it or you get over that, you may not necessarily need a life coach. But when you are really stuck and you've tried this and you tried that and it's not working for you and you just feel like you need more, then I definitely believe that a life coach would be someone that you can reach out to.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Sounds like you knew the house you wanted, you made the decision to do it, but let me take it back a little bit further.
Of course.
What brought you to NACA out of
Yeah.
all the choices that you have?
Well, I'll tell you what brought us to NACA is we didn't have a lot of choices. And so I don't know. I feel like I'm going to monologue here a bit, but I think it's important for the people to hear. We came to NACA because my credit got destroyed, just absolutely destroyed through when back in 2016, actually, no, I think it was 2017, we got robbed when we were at an apartment. Someone broke into our apartment while we were both out of there and basically stole almost everything we had. But the problem is the story didn't really end there. We tried to do what we could to help the apartment. The police told us they're gonna come back. They left things here. They're watching your house probably. They're gonna come back. We talked to our landlord, and our landlord told us she had no responsibility for the whole thing. we got robbed again, and they took
Oh.
basically everything we had. Within a 2-week period, we lost pretty much everything. Now, I have to say we were incredibly lucky. We were able to find a new home that was able to take us literally within 12 hours of the second robbery. Incredibly lucky. So we got out of that bad situation. But the problem is that landlord that I was talking about decided that they were going to come after me for all damages that the robbers did.
You're the victim.
You know what? I would agree with you. And the police report would agree with you, but it didn't matter. She decided to come after us. So she came after us for thousands of dollars that, I didn't think it was right to pay. But she destroyed my credit in doing so. I went from a credit score well over 700, which for someone in the early 20s, I was happy with, down to under 500 in the matter of a few months. Just absolutely crippled us. So we're a few years go by, and we realized that we want to buy a home. Me and my wife realized we want to buy a home, but everywhere I look, it wasn't even a possibility for us with the credit score that I was sitting with. And then I found NACA. NACA said on the website that credit score didn't matter. They would work with you. They would look at your payments. They would they would find other ways of showing that you could be a good homeowner. As you said, if you can pay your rent, you can pay your mortgage. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you the truth, I didn't believe it. I was sitting with a credit score of about 500, and I was reading something that said I could buy a house, and I absolutely didn't believe it. But you know what? I signed up for the
workshop.
I signed up for the workshop. Thank you. Signed up for the workshop, sat there, listened. I heard it again. Credit score doesn't matter. I was like, okay, I'll do the meeting with our counselor. We did the workshop in May of 2020. We closed on this house December 1st, 2020.
Get out.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
With a credit score that by the time we bought the house, I was growing, but I was still under 600. We were able to buy a house, do the whole process in
oh my goodness,
about 7 months.
I love it. You can't beat that with a stick. I love it. That was a pretty fast process. And
incredibly.
Let me talk to you a little bit about your counselor. Was it fast because you had all your ducks in a row, or you just had a made up mind? And when your counselor told you to do something, you knew, okay, wait a minute, Gabe, got to go and do this. Let me do it. Let me get it done. Talk to me about your relationship with your counselor.
Yeah. So I realized that if I was going to do this process, NACA was truly our only way we were ever going to become homeowners within, the next 10 years. If I want to spend 10 years trying to build my credit back up. But we realized this was the only way we were going to be able to buy a home. So I knew that I had to take it seriously. I had to be ready. So what we did is, before even coming into our first meeting, and this is something that I would really recommend to anybody listening to this who's considering starting the process, start your savings now. Show that you can do the savings for the home you want to buy. It's something your counselor will talk to you about. The difference between the rent you're paying now and the mortgage you want to be paying at the end. You need to show that you can put that into savings today.
That's right.
We started that process before we even went into that meeting, which was a huge benefit for us because we had already built that savings up. We had already shown that pattern. But yeah, once the counselor was, once we were in our first meeting with our counselor, again, I was committed. I was focused. It was anything you need, I'm going to have to you within an hour of you sending it. Like,
wow.
I'm going to put in the work to get it done. But I really, again, can't stress enough how much it helps to anybody who's listening right now. Being responsive to your counselor is, of course, important, but the number one thing you can do right now is start your savings.
Let me ask you that, and that's such good advice to give to those that are in the process, those who are having second thoughts about it, those who are anticipating on starting the process. We have a few questions coming in, and one of those questions is about How do I start the process? And, the question is, the answer is you start with that first initial workshop. We have our workshops every other Saturday. You can go to our website and you go and you look it up and say, purchase. When you look at purchase and you say, participate in a workshop or attend a workshop, and you're going to click that and you select the date and the date of your choice. And there, every other Saturday, we are hosting those workshops, and it is a 4-hour workshop. And
yeah,
so
it's long.
it's long.
It's long.
But you know what I hear every time I tell somebody, Gabe, about the workshop? They're like, 4 hours on a Saturday. And I'm like, it's from 9, it starts at 9. It is nice and painless, 9 to 1, and it's over. Here's what they come back with. It goes by so fast because there's so much information that they want to hear about. So literally they want to hear about this program, and they're not even paying attention to the time till all of a sudden, all is it's over 4 minutes, 4 hours, and it's painless. But it's 4 hours of critical information that you need to get the process started. So at this time, I think we got to take a station break. I know we have a lot of questions coming up, so we'll take a station break really, really quick, and we'll be right back. Thanks, Gabe. More to come, everybody.
You all know him, my boy, Will Smith.
His tone is a very conversational tone, and he has the ability to be a storyteller because he is a actor. And so this book was more of a page turner.
I really enjoyed hearing and listening to him narrate the book. Also, I think it was a really great book because he was just so open and honest. And I mean, I don't think he really left anything out. I mean, he talked about everything in the book.
And I just want to throw this out there, that this is basically one of my favorite memoirs. And you know how I feel about the other book that I have read.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time Shiro to all of us. You nurture, we listen. You teach, we thrive. You lift our spirits, but we've got to lay down the truth. It's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. A free online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Start saving more for retirement so you can feel prepared and live your life to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Okay, guys, we're gonna be making cheesesteak egg rolls today. These are perfect for sporting events or eating finger foods or game night or anything like that. Or if you're just looking for something golden brown and delicious to crunch on. Put these in your recipe arsenal, and I'm telling you, bar none.
Welcome back. Sorry about that. NACA's American Dream Program. Remember, if you have a question, 833-771-0500. Again, that number is 833-771-0500. Gabe, the folks out there in Radio Land are missing an awesome testimony. Listen, tell us that story again.
Okay, start from the beginning. I'll try and make it a little bit quicker this time. Basically, what happened for me was back in about 2016, we were robbed. And when we were robbed, we lost most everything of value. As it happened, the police told us, look, they left things behind. They're probably going to come back for what they missed. They're probably watching your guys' apartment, which is a terrifying feeling, by the way.
Really?
And so we contacted our landlord about what could she do to make it feel more secure, make it so this didn't happen again, make it so we felt safe in our home. And she told us, not her problem, pretty much. And what do you know? About a week later, we were robbed again, and they took everything else of value that we had. Now, we were incredibly lucky. we were able to find another place to go stay within literally the next day. But what we didn't realize at the time was the landlord was going to come after me in particular for all of the damages that the robbers did. Yeah, all of it. And in doing so, she absolutely destroyed my credit. And this was years ago. So I was sitting with decent credit, but then she just destroyed it. Within a couple of months, all of the work I had done as an adult was just wiped away because she decided to come after me. Well, you know, cut forward to 2020, and my wife and I started talking about the idea of, you know, wanting to buy a home, wanting to be able to get some more space, wanting to have something for ourselves. But, you know, hanging over, you know, the head was that terrible, terrible credit score that I was sitting with still because of her. And I found NACA. NACA said that they didn't consider credit score at all. But that was really, really hard to believe when you're sitting in my shoes. And Damien, from what you were saying at the beginning, you were in a similar situation whenever you were buying a home.
Yes.
Yeah, but you and I both know, like it's real. Like, actually, you can have a terrible credit score, but if you can just prove that you can be a good homeowner, because credit score, honestly, it means nothing. It really doesn't. It's not a reflection of you. It's not a reflection. If you have a low credit score, you are not a bad person. You are not irresponsible. And you can be a good homeowner, regardless of what the credit industry wants you to think. And NACA understands that. And I didn't believe it, but I do now. So I then, you know, I decided to show up for the workshop. You know, they told me again, credit score doesn't matter, whatever. And that was in, again, it was late April, early May of 2020. And we closed on our home December 1st, 2020. So
powerful,
it's
powerful.
What is that? That's 8 months.
Yeah, 7 months. You were done, in and out. It was a done deal. Now, there's so much I could say about the landlord situation, because I think you being the victim here, and then she went back and she triple backed and victimized you some more by attacking your credit over something that clearly wasn't your fault. Clearly, you had a police report that showed that you were robbed, and that's who vandalized or did the damages to her property. But the fact of the matter is that we as landlords, or any landlord, if they can't understand that bad things happen in life and life happens, this is totally unavoidable on your end. You didn't ask to be robbed. It wasn't voluntarily. No. I mean, but these are the things that are economic justice for all side of the entity. These are the fights that we will take those fights. And that's why being a member really does have its privileges. Membership has its privileges with NACA, because when you become a member of NACA, you do have access to America's Best Mortgage. But furthermore, Gabe, you have access to economic justice, true justice, real justice that says things like that shouldn't happen to people. And so that's when we pull our foot soldiers out, and we get out there and we start fighting for your justice. And had you had known, we would have taken that fight on for you, because our CEO, he loves a good fight, and he loves to get in what we call good trouble. And so that's the type of fight we would have taken on, and we still will today. So for those of you who are listening, when you got bad landlords out there, reach out to us, hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, website, contact us at our toll-free number. You can reach out to us and we'll take those fights on. Become a member, because it really does have its privileges. But the second part of what you said was about the credit score, and that you couldn't believe it because the credit score was so low. But when we say no consideration of credit, we really do mean it, because you cannot tell me that 3 numbers define you. And everybody out there listening is a true testament. If you've ever just worried or been concerned about applying for credit, any kind of credit or a credit card and receiving a declination notice saying that you can't get this credit card for whatever reason, or your credit score, we pulled TransUnion or Equifax, and it's like, how can 3 numbers define my character of what I can actually pay back? Bad things happen to good people, and NACA is that leg up. It's the footstool standing there. If you're trying to climb up, they're going to give you that stepping stool so you can get to where you're going, and you are in your house today because of that. I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Awesome.
it. How big is your house? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I live in St. Louis, Missouri with my wife. We live in the city in a neighborhood called Northampton. It's about 1,800 square feet. That's considering the partially finished basement where I am right now.
Your man cave.
Yeah, pretty much. We got the office right here, the den right over there as well, with the big TV for the movies and the games and everything. Plenty of space for entertaining. We tend to have people over, and we just had people over last night playing some board games and stuff. We got the grill out on the deck. We love entertaining, and when we were doing this through NACA, that was something that we worked with our agent on. Like, we needed to know that we had that space, and we found this house which has incredible indoor and outdoor entertaining for us. It is so much more house than we thought that we were going to be able to get, but it's pretty incredible.
I love it. So the NACA, the agent didn't tell you what kind of house you should get. You told them what your desires are, and they found it. You guys found it.
No, so when we talked with again, because I know that we had some technical difficulties on the broadcast, I want to make sure that this gets out there. Ken Chance was our realtor here in the St. Louis region.
Shout out, Ken.
Yeah, if you are in St. Louis and you have a chance to work with Ken, absolutely do it. The man's incredible. But I'm going to say a little something about Ken. Ken is a huge nerd as well. A massive nerd. And so we had a lot of fun just talking about this stuff. But when I told him, like, look, I want a big room for board games. I want my big, game room. I want the room for all of this. He was, yes. Let's find it. Let's go get it. And, he just started pulling up houses, and he wasn't just looking at bedrooms, bathrooms, things like that. He was going, this is the perfect place for you guys to be able to like get together and play. Like, he truly understood us. And was able to really tailor the experience for what we were looking for, while also being an in-house NACA agent. So he knew the process. It was so much smoother going through him than it would have been had we gone through a third-party agent.
I love that. So you formed a relationship with your counselor, you formed a relationship with your agent, and out of it came your beautiful home. And those relationships are really, really critical, because your counselor has to get to understand you and know what your goals are. And I have never seen, correct me if I'm wrong out there, I have never seen a counselor tell you no. They will tell you a way to get to yes. So it may not be right now today, but they will tell you eventually how we can get to yes, and the time frame it's going to take to get to yes. And I love that. That's one of the beautiful things about NACA.
Roadmap that they put you on, telling you exactly what you need to do to get from here to get to your home. And I mean, your story is so inspiring, because many people still believe that I'm working on my credit. I got to do this. I got to do. No, go to NACA and let them tell you, put all your documents in, let them tell you where you're at and what you need to work on. You over here working on this, and you should have been working on that, or you didn't even need to work on anything. You were already where you needed to be. And a lot of times, not only can, if you can, like Antoinette says, that you can afford a home if you're paying rent, it might be less than what you're paying for rent. Because I've had clients that were paying rent that was $1,000. When we got through, they were paying $411 PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So with NACA, you can pay less. So quit paying more and giving away money. If you want to give away money, send it to me, send it to the children or whatever. Let's save you some money get something that you're building wealth in. And I tell you, Gabriel, you are truly an example of someone who stepped out, though you didn't quite believe it, but you still had faith enough to continue to move forward in that which you didn't know. I love it. That's an awesome testimony.
It is. And we have a couple of questions for Gabe. As a matter of fact, we have a couple of questions.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. All right. So just, speaking just like a gamer. one of the questions are, and I think we touched on this, so maybe they heard a piece of it and want to know more. They're asking, is the counseling session 4 hours or the workshop? And do I have to stay the whole time? So
yeah, I mean, I can take this if you want to. So it's the workshop that's 4 hours. And yes, you have to stay the whole time. You do not get your member number until the end of the session. Without that member number, you're not getting logged in. You're not submitting your documents. You're not scheduling with your counselor. There is no going forward without that workshop. But we talked about this a little bit. Again, I know we had some technical difficulty, but Anjanette, we talked about this. That 4 hour session is not as bad as it sounds.
It's not
4 hours to be able to put yourself in a home. Like, you can do it. I'm sorry, but you can do it. And it's not a bad 4 hours. You're going to learn a lot, take some notes, do what I did, bring some snacks, and just like sit down, ready to take it in. Yeah, it's 4 hours of a weekend, but by the end of it, you're going to have your path ahead. You're going to have that roadmap to where you need to be to end up in the home.
And it's virtual. It's virtual. It's not like you got.
Oh, I was sitting there with my camera off, like a couple snacks over here and a drink. Like, it's not bad.
It's not bad. A little inconvenience to get the information. And so many people have called me and said, you know what? It went by so fast. There was so much information that was provided. I totally can't believe it went by as fast as it did. So you know what, you curl up in your bed and put your camera on, and so you can watch everything and get into your little secluded place, and it goes by before you know it. And the information is really good information.
Yeah.
So to answer your question out there, yes, it is a 4 hour workshop. And then your counseling session, that's a different thing. Your counseling session is what you, when you decide to come on board and you're ready to take that step, you then call in and to set up your appointment for your counseling session. And your counseling session can take anywhere from 1 hour to 2 hours. It shouldn't take no more than 2 hours, but it typically takes anywhere from 1 hour to 2 hours for a full counseling session. And that's called your intake session, because they're intaking all of your information, everything that they need to know about your financial picture, your budget and everything, and your desire on owning a home, you know? So they want to know that. We have another question. This person actually has already gone through not the NACA process, but a home buying process. They have pretty decent credit, things like that. They want to know about with their credit straight. Can I still come straight through and go to the banking application piece or the pre-approval piece without having to do all of the other, like the workshop and things like that? And the answer is no.
Absolutely not.
There, you know, I ain't never heard of somebody cooking a cake and so I start cooking the cake and then I say, okay, I'm gonna stop. And Damien, you come on in and you finish baking this cake. Well, guess what? Damien don't know what all ingredients have been placed in the
Damien's
cake.
gonna mess it up.
And he is gonna mess it up. And by the time we trying to get a cake, we got cookies and they not even good. So I'm saying all that.
I didn't even make good cookies.
They weren't even good cookies.
Oh,
they
wow.
weren't,
You guys
because
make me hungry.
I know, right? We talk about food all the time. We talk about food all the time, Gabe. But yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. And the reason why you don't want to do that is you don't want to miss out on anything dealing with the NACA program or the product itself. You want to give yourself the opportunity to get everything you deserve in your counseling session. So yes, you're going to have to go to the 4 hour workshop. It's on a Saturday, nice and painless. It's a virtual webinar. You can do that in a heartbeat. Once you're ready, you get on board and you get an appointment for your intake appointment session. When you do your intake appointment session, now you're going to get your action plan of anything that you need. And guess what? If you're saying that you're ready and you've already been pre-approved, chances are you may have a smooth process with us, because guess what? You may have already done those steps that you need to get through the process faster. So whereas it probably would have taken you 5, 6, 7 months, it may have only taken you through our program, because you're saying you're ready. It may only take you 1 or 2 months, but you'll never know if you don't try. So give yourself, be selfish. This is the one time you have to be selfish. And because a home buying process or a home is the largest product. That's the largest purchase you'll ever make. So if I can't be selfish with getting a home, what can I be selfish about? So you know what? If you've been pre-approved at a bank, just take that leap, take that chance, and just see what your options are and how you'll come out on the NACA side. Because I can tell you this, the bank is not going to say no money down, no closing costs, no PMI, no consideration of credit. And guess what? Everything. I mean,
guaranteed their APR is going to be higher.
You cannot beat that interest rate. I am telling you, the interest rate, you're not going to be able to beat that anywhere on a 30-year or a 15-year. We're going at 1.875 on a 30-year. You can't beat that with a stick. Poke me with a fork because I'm just done.
But here's the thing that'll really help you for those that are ready. When you make your appointment, right before you make it, or right before you know you're going to have that appointment, if you have all of your documentation in, the last 90 days of bank stubs, the last 30 days of your pay, your W-2s, your taxes, you can now help. See, you're in control. You're driving the boat. So if you have all that documentation, it may be one more appointment before you get qualified because you got everything. You've been doing your savings. You've been paying your bills on time. You have everything that's on those lists. Make sure that's the quickest way to make sure you get through it faster. Have your savings and input, upload all that documentation that they request. That will be the best appointment you can ever have, because if you don't, they're going to have to reschedule you because they need that information.
That's exactly right. And I just want to make one correction here, just one correction. Our interest rate as of today on a 30-year is 2%. And on a 15-year, are you ready for this? 1.25 on a 15-year. And NACA has the type of program you can buy down your rate to 0%. That's right, 0%. So guess what? Give yourself an opportunity to take advantage of the program. Weigh your options out. Isn't it nice to have options?
Yeah.
NACA is relentless in what
I
it does.
know. I love it. And everybody, we are here with Gabe out in Missouri, the Show Me State, and he is showing us exactly what he did to make his dream, to realize his dream of home ownership. And Damian, I am just loving this information. I'm loving what he's given us, the motivation, the power of understanding it really does happen. But I got some good news when we come back from break.
Definitely. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. We have good information. This testimony from a Show Me State where many people, hey, take this opportunity and go get your home. See you back shortly. Thanks.